We never left. Sweeny Murti. Sweeny, of course, Yankee reporter here at the Fan. He's got a podcast out, BXB, Bronx Baseball, with our buddy Keith McPherson. Officially, what's up, Sween?
Hi, Tiki. Not Tiki. Sorry, BT. How you doing?
I'm good. So I want to bounce around a little bit. Obviously, I'll start with the Judge stuff, but I want to get to some other, roster situations, whether it's Britton, Benintendi down the road, Severino last night. But nobody really knows what Aaron Judge is thinking. You don't know if he's going to sign. I mean, you've got your thoughts like we all have, but the thing that's really impressive, but also a little frustrating with Aaron, is that he's so quick to redirect the spotlight. He's very selfless and humble, which is a great characteristic. But it's hard to really get a read if he has the reverence. I mean, the true reverence for Yankee history, like I think many of us hope and want him to have. Do you get the sense that he does?
Yeah, I think so. I just think it's his way of not putting that attention on him, to not want to talk about the numbers. I sat with him in the dugout about a month ago now to talk about some things, and he was still, I think he was around 50-ish, and I started bringing up 60, and it was the same answer that he was giving everybody else around, for the last several weeks. I got nothing for you. And, he didn't want to talk about the hypothetical, and I think you caught a little bit of that, I think you caught a little bit of the awe when he addressed it the other night, because he said, you grow up and you have goals about wanting to play in the big leagues and wanting to do this and wanting to do that, but you never imagine that, people are going to talk about you and Babe Ruth in the same breath. I think that's a little overwhelming. So, I don't think he could address that specific aspect of it, BT, and come off sounding any particular way, because how many of us would actually understand the context of putting your name and Babe Ruth's name in the same sentence? So I think all that part I think it's all very genuine. I think he has every bit of respect and awe and knowledge of what happens with Yankee history and where his place is in it now.
Yeah. You've been at that stadium for a long, long time covering this team and doing a great job. And Jeter chasing 3,000, final game at the old Yankee Stadium, first game at the new, championship, playoff games, et cetera, et cetera. The energy the last two, 3, 4 nights or 2, 3, 4 games compared to other highly talked about moments in recent Yankee lore. Where is this ranking right now? Does it feel different?
Yeah, listen, full disclosure, I wasn't there on Tuesday night. I was working from home Tuesday night, still working my way off COVID IL. So I was there last night. And the funny thing was about the idea of last night was the energy was geared toward Judge's at bats, and that was kind of it. It's a little bit like Jeter getting 3,000, but here's the funny thing is Jeter could lay down a bunt single and get closer to 3,000 hits, and everybody would be happy, right?
Yep.
Everybody's expecting one thing from Aaron Judge, and he's delivering. I mean, people were groaning when he hit ringing doubles down the left field line.
I know.
The guy's chasing a batting title here too, and a triple crown, and he's right there. And the doubles count, the singles count, all the hard hit balls count. But if it doesn't go over the fence, people are left disappointed, which made the other night really special because, nobody was expecting that game to end in a victory. That was a loss. You're down 4 runs in the 9th inning. You're going to lose that game, right? Mm-hmm. Just give me one thing that I came here to see. And the count goes to 3-1, and nobody else in the park is thinking, okay, let's start a rally. They just want to see Judge hit a home run. And he did, and he's been doing that. That's the thing. How many times do you see him this year say, boy, everybody just wants to see him at a home run in this spot right here.
And he does.
He does.
It's crazy.
That doesn't happen. It's not that easy, BT.
Well, that's why I've tried to stress here. Most people get this, but some don't. What's happening, and I think particularly with young kids who are just starting to fall in love with the game, it's desensitizing the process for the most, in my opinion, many agree, the most arduous thing to do in sports, hit a baseball. He's making it look so easy that it's almost creating almost the wrong emotion for some fans that if he doesn't go yard, he's a failure. This is just, we're not going to see this ever again, period. We're not.
And the process is pretty fascinating. It's one of the things I talked to him about last month, and I actually just put the column up a couple of days ago on WFAN.com, and I think your account just retweeted it. It was about this idea of, I remember very specifically an at-bat he took in spring training 5 years ago, 2017, his rookie year. And very first at bat of the spring, he takes a fastball down the middle, strike one. And he ends up waving at a breaking ball, strikes out in the at bat. And he's shaking his head walking back, and he hears guys above the dugout say, "Here we go again," because he just got done striking out half his at bats and hitting 179 in 2016. And the people are saying, "Here we go again. All this guy does is strike out." The next at bat, he swings at the first pitch and he hits it off the scoreboard in Tampa, and it starts off this chain of him winning the job and 52 home runs and kind of where we are now. But it was that process of, I need to be ready to hit. I wasn't ready to hit that first at bat. I took a pitch that I should have smashed, and before I knew it, I'm walking back to the dugout striking out. That can't happen. So he talked to me about this whole process of getting to the park at 2 o'clock and going through his routines, his physical checklist, his BP checklist, all of his things to prepare so that when he gets up there at 7:05 and he's stepping into the box, now it's fun. Now he's ready. And all his routines are geared towards getting that one pitch he might see in the bat when he comes up 4 or 5 times and smashing it. And it's not that easy. And the process he goes through is pretty fascinating to get to that point. He's a really good hitter. And that's the thing that we're seeing. He's not, Dave Kingman.
No.
He is a really good hitter who smashes home runs when he squares them up. He smashes doubles and singles, and I understand it's not hitting 360, but it's still a batting title that he's going to get to here, or has a chance to get to here, and it's really fun to watch.
I read the article, and we did retweet this. I would advise everybody to go check it out. It's because you don't get that kind of perspective too much, that in-depth self-analysis from Judge, much like with Jeter. We didn't get it. But you got it, and it's a good article. And that, of course, is Sweeny Murti, Yankee reporter on The Fan. He's got a podcast out as well. Him and Keith McPherson, BXB, Bronx Baseball. All right, couple of quick hitters. One more thing. You can be quick on this. If I said, hey, Sween, give me one word or one phrase to describe the relationship between Judge and Brian Cashman, how would you describe that?
I mean, insignificant, I would think, is the relationship between player and GM. I mean, wasn't insignificant with Cashman and Jeter?
No, but I think that was a longer history. You're talking about a guy who played out. That was a different negotiation too. Jeter was finishing up a 10-year contract and was in his late 30s. I think that was different, and that was a different personality. I don't think I don't think we're at a point where Judge and Cashman are going to be in a room, and Judge is going to say, "So, well, who else do you want instead of me?" And Cashman's going to rattle off 3 names.
That's true.
We're not at that point.
No.
And even, Jeter admits now, years after the fact, that having been an executive, he sees a little bit of what Cashman was going through, and they kind of buried the hatchet with that. So I don't think that's a good example.
Okay.
I don't think their personal relationship really matters. I think we all understand that the offer for April has risen exponentially, and we're going to see where that number goes.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not like Cashman's pulling the number out of thin air. It's a deep collaboration with the financial people. Everybody understands that. My contention was, and this goes back to the opening day leakage of the exact terms of the deal, I didn't think that was a smart move by Cash, but all right, I got you. I'm just curious if there's any.
It was a curious play, and he tried to play it off like, you guys are really good at getting. It was going to come out anyway. I've asked him, I don't know how many times in 20 years about specific details that he didn't divulge.
Yes.
So the fact that he is sitting here and just offering it up to me, I mean. He was playing with us a little bit, okay? And I can't wait to say, listen, so what was the offer here? And he's going to say, I can't say. Well, you could say
yes.
6 months ago. Why can't you say now?
Well, you better say that. If you don't say that, I'm going to call you out. You better say that, Murti.
I've done it.
No, okay, I know you have. That's why you're Sweeny Murti. But you better make sure you do it again. I'm going to hold you to it, buddy, all right?
I'm here.
I know you are. All right, couple of quick hitters. So, Severino, with the Montas, the shoulder. Listen, no Yankee fan feels good with Montas getting the baseball in a meaningful spot anyway. What do we take away from Sevy last night, who looked good control, 6 whiffs, no walks, what you wanted to see? How's he going to factor into October? What do you think?
I almost looked at last night as another rehab start, right? I mean, it was the Pirates. It was just an extra. His next outing is going to be against the Blue Jays, who are probably going to be swinging to save their division title hopes. As the Yankees try to magic. You know what? Actually, I forgot to look at the score when I got home last night. Did they win or lose last night?
Oh,
It was
gee,
it was an extra
Toronto.
innings
Hold
when I
on,
left the park, and I forgot to
Toronto.
look
Wait,
and see what
Toronto. I
happened.
think Toronto beat they won.
They won. Okay, so it's
I
still
got to double
not.
check that. I'm pretty sure they won. I'm almost positive they won.
I got in the car. The game was an extra.
Yeah,
innings, and I forgot to look.
Yeah.
No, the Phillies won.
I'm not even
So,
worried about Toronto right now.
So
That's
the
why I
Phillies
didn't
won,
look.
so it's 8. Okay, so you've got the Yankees are going to have a chance to finish off the Blue Jays in the division.
They're already finished off. It's over.
Toronto's-
Yanks
yeah,
got it.
I get it, but you understand, like officially. So, but that's going to be the team he faces next, and I think that's a bigger key right there. What he does against that Blue Jays lineup,
Yep.
and a team that hits pretty well that you could see again a couple of weeks later in the postseason. I think that's going to be a bigger. Last night looked good, looked healthy.
Yeah.
He ticks up when there's fans in the stands. His velo always ticks up. He always talks about that. I think he felt really good about it. I'm going to take more out of his next start.
What's the deal with Britain?
I would think he's going to be activated tonight. They sent Weissert out after last night's game, so I would think that's the move to activate Britton. You know, the thing with Britton, and he talked about this to me a few months ago while he was kind of getting ready to really start unleashing the stages of his rehab where he was into bullpens, things like that. He doesn't want to just be a guy who comes out here and takes a couple of innings to ease the load. Like, he wants to be a guy who contributes, and he wants to be a guy who you can say, okay, I can use him back-to-back days.
Mm-hmm.
I can use him here in tough situations. Now, I don't know that he's going to get thrown into that right away, but that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to be babied down the stretch here as a guy who's coming off Tommy John. He wants to be the guy who says, listen, I've gotten my contract. I'm playing for a championship. I want to contribute for this. I don't want to just be along for the ride.
I like that.
So I want to kind of see how he gets used here. A lot of times you're looking at a BT as, you don't want to jeopardize the guy who's just coming back from this. Like, he wants to be the guy who just is throwing in it, like, put me on the horse and let's go.
I like it.
And so I'm curious to see what he can show you there because, frankly, the Yankees have a lot of their top relievers who are in kind of a crazy state right now where you don't know what your best relief core is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to think there's a window here to see if Zach Britton can be part of it.
Well, it's a mess. I mean, I don't really fully trust anybody. So let me ask you this. ALDS, ALCS, World Series, whatever, and obviously pushing it forward. But so there's many assumptions made because somebody could get hot from now until then. But a high leverage spot right now. You ask Aaron Boone, no mics, no camera. Hey, Skip, high leverage spot. Who do you trust the most out of the pen? He's saying who?
I don't think there's a right answer there right now.
Well, that's not good.
That's the problem.
That's bad.
Well, listen, I think the best answer would be Loizaga, but I don't think he's quite there yet. And I think the only thing that bothers me right now that makes me even hesitate that it's not him is that he doesn't have as much swing and miss as he did a year ago. And I think that's what you're really looking for when you're talking about you got a lot of contact guys right now. Holmes is a contact guy, Peralta's a contact guy. I know I know they get swings and misses and changeups and stuff like that, but I mean you want like the high strikeout guys, and I don't think they have one of those right now. Loizaga can be close to that, but he's really not there. But I mean, he does look really good. I think you might end up being in a situation where it's not one set thing that gets you there. You might have a game, BT. Let's say you get Clark Schmidt to close out the final 2 to 3 innings of a Game 1 victory, and maybe you lose Game 2 7-1. You don't need any of your guys, and now you're kind of resetting again. I don't think it's this guy is going to get 3 saves in this series.
Got it.
That's how you win the series.
I got 5 seconds here, literally 5 seconds. Benintendi, Game 1 playoffs. Does he have a chance to get back?
I don't think so at this point. I mean, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it.
Okay. Sweeny, great work. That's an article that you guys have to check out that we retweeted. So go check out the fan account, the baseball podcast, BXB Bronx Baseball with Keith McPherson. Good stuff, man. I think we hit a lot of stuff. Thank you very much,
BT.
Sweeny. You got
Appreciate
it, man. All right.
Buddy Biancalana.
There you go. Dove will never forget the name.